this morning. She is one of the most miraculous, amazing people that I have ever met. And she's just the epitome of someone who is super resilient. So she just had this major surgery and has had, complications and lifelong challenges with her health. And she's always people that sees the brighter side of things. The glass, she's the epitome of glass half full instead of glass half empty. And I think when we go through challenges, either personally or collectively, we have to make a choice in how we choose to deal with the challenges that come across our path. And of course, there's time to be angry. There's time to be sad. There's time to be like, woe was me a little bit. There's time to cry. There's time to have a temper tantrum. There's all these things that can happen. But when we really finish with all the many layers of emotional states that we go through when we're working through a challenge, do you land on gratitude? And how can you encourage yourself to lean, to bias toward gratitude, even when things are challenging? So for some people, this comes more naturally than others. And that's great if that's natural for you, because then things are easier. But even if it's not natural for you to gravitate toward this, if you can cultivate gratitude in your life, it's like a wellspring. I think of it like a tree root that is searching for water, and when it'll dig and go far and wide until it finds the source of energy that it's looking for. In this case, for a tree, it's water source. But we have these tap roots into prana, into connection with all things. And gratitude is one of our tap roots to get to that source. So if you are challenged, and who isn't, but if something's challenging you right now and you're looking for a way to build your resiliency and build your capacity to cope with whatever is happening, gratitude is a gift that will help you to find that deeper channel of energy that we're all looking for healing, for hope, for sustenance, for well-being, for joy. So gratitude practices can show up in so many different ways. The glass half full, learning how to see the glass half full, can come in many different cultivations of practices. Once again, if this is natural for you, lucky you, right? And if it's not natural for you, there are ways to make it happen. So journaling, things that you are grateful for, stopping before your meals to have a moment of gratitude, envisioning something that's beautiful and staying with it for a moment and relishing in the beauty of what you're experiencing. There's so many small little minor ways throughout your day, stopping and just feeling the miracle of your breath. Really, what happens with gratitude is we need patience and we need presence. We need to be observant and pay attention to the right things. So that's part of the mind work, is pay attention to the right things instead of always focusing on the worries, the concerns. What else is there in your view to pay attention to that might be helping you cultivate a deeper taproot? So close your eyes and think about what builds your resiliency. What is your unique talent? What is your unique gift for being able to cultivate the glass half full? How does gratitude show up easily for you? And can you kind of go with that? Go with the things that come natural and expand from there. So as you close your eyes and sit up, first, just be grateful for the ways that things do come naturally to you. And then make a choice in your mind right now of committing to something that you can do to help you see the glass half full, to see the brighter side, to see the gifts that are hidden amidst the muck, to be that gift for others. And is there a simple way for you to cultivate this? Just a very simple act you can do that you can commit to do throughout your day, today and other days. Remember, bite off things that are easy to chew. You don't want to have, this huge thing that you just turn away from because it's too hard. Small bite-sized actions. Come into the breath. Let some of that go. Release into the body and come into the miracle of your breath. So feel the beauty of your breath, the ease in which you inhale. Can you feel the breath moving around, feeding you? The ease in which you exhale, the release of what's no longer feeding you. Can you imagine nothing more important than paying attention to your breath? It's just the only thing right now to listen to watch, to observe. Is your body steady? Do you feel grounded? Is your posture in a good place for breathing? Do you have the ability to rest your head easily over your shoulders? Is your spine in a spacious place, supported place? Are you able to drop the breath low? Are you able to drop the breath wide? And move your awareness into some part of your body that is feeling really good right now, working well, facilitating something beautiful in your life because you're able to use this part of your body. Just find something that's, you know, easy to celebrate. Just hang out there for a moment, breathe there for a moment. And can you let the energy that's gained through good breath and paying attention to what feels good be a bit of a feeder for you that you can lean into, open up when you tend to get pessimistic or doubtful. And place your palms together at your heart and bow in. Commit to your act that you're going to cultivate for gratitudes, for optimism. Let your practice serve you in whatever way you need. And then release and relax. Okay, let's come onto our back. Find your way. And as you lie down, enjoy that. Enjoy what it feels like to be horizontal on the floor. Stretch out your limbs to wherever is comfortable for you. And just take a moment to marvel in the looseness of your joints. You can kind of rock your legs, kind of internal, external rotation. Let them rock. Same with your arms. You can move them around. Just let your joints from your shoulders down to your toes, from your hips. Shoulders down to your fingers and your hips down to your toes. Be loose. You can even sway through your pelvis, one side and the other side. Everything loosening up. Then be still for a moment and enjoy the breath. Cultivate that sense of open heart, open space. Anything is possible. And then stretch your arms overhead and start to feel the alignment of your body. So stretch into the left, stretch into the right. Enjoy the feeling of stretching, that little squeeze that might come. Maybe your breath changes a bit. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit left and right, swaying from side to side. Enjoy the way your spine moves on the floor. Sometimes after not feeling so good, boy, everything just feels so good. It's easy to relish in things feeling good when you have had a recent reminder of not feeling good. So anytime you have a setback, let it be a gift where when you go through that setback, you come out the other side and realize that the sun is shining. Okay, let's circle the knees a few times. And then right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor, spin around your toes, your ankles, get some movement. Feel the good squeeze in the knee and the hip. And then switch sides, left knee in, right leg long. Feel the openness of your feet, feel the openness of your spine. And then bring both knees in and open up your legs out. Bring them back in. See what this feels like, not only in your hips and your inner thighs, but in your back as well. And then let's turn this into a starfish. Open your body out to your limbs. Stretch from navel all the way to your fingers and toes and wiggle your fingers and toes. Get the extra edges of your body, the very edges of you to wake up. And then draw your knees and chest in and squeeze toward your center. Maybe even squeeze your face if you want. One more time, opening back wide and spacious. Feel how big you can get. Exhale, feel how small you can get. And then roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. So find your way onto all fours. Have that sense that you have even weight through all your limbs. Yield for a moment. Make sure your wrists are in a happy place. And then start to move through some cat-cows. Arching and rounding the spine, taking your time to notice what your vertebrae feel like. Breathing well. Remember that you have a head and a tail that connect to all the rest of your vertebrae. And then move things around any way you want to move things around. You can sway through your sides. You can spin some circles in your hips, moving any way you want to move so that your body starts to feel alive and open. Notice how moving your ribs can affect your breath. All right, and then stretch back towards child's pose for a moment. Feel the compression of the hips. If you're comfortable, walk the hands out in front of you. So for those of you who have some shoulder issues where this may not be your favorite movement, experiment for a way to maintain the length of your rib cage, even if you can't lift your arms over your head. So if your arms are down or out to the side, can you still stretch your ribs open a little bit, finding some length from your shoulder to your pelvis? And then let's take one side. So walking the hands over left. And even if you're going left and your right arm's like, nope, don't like that, then just loosen up your right arm. Don't stretch so hard, but find the rib cage opening. Drop weight down into the hips. Relax your neck, soften the forehead. Breathe into the softness you're feeling. Breathe into the openness you're feeling. And then come back the other way. These little stretches we do to warm up our body, can you be fully present for the way they make you feel? Adjust anything that needs adjusting. All right, and then come back up onto all fours. Have a moment of some arching and rounding again. And then curl the toes under and turn this into a full dog pose. So as you come into this posture, feel that sense that you're long in the spine, that your feet and your hands can root, can find those tap roots, enter deep into the earth, and you're yielding and rebound into the deep length in your spine. Relax your head. What feels good here? Do you want movement? Do you want stillness? So if you want movement, you can bounce or, kind of vibrate through your legs, or you can bend one knee at a time. You can turn and open up one side, lift a hip, anything that's helpful to you to be in your body. Just remember, our skills of gratitude come with observation, with presence. We can't really feel grateful for something if we're too busy just keeping going. We have to pause. We have to have those moments of appreciation happen when we're in presence. So practice presence in the body, in the breath. All right, and then walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana, relax your head, bobble anything around, move anything around that needs moving around. Halfway lift, the spine is growing longer, the thighs are stretching back. Enjoy the feeling of stretch. Release and relax, push off your feet and rise all the way up, coming to Tadasana. Arms up overhead if it's comfortable for you. Lean back, open the chest. Maybe some cactus arms, maybe some open arms. Just feel this chest expand and broaden. And then release your shoulders down. A few shoulder rolls. If you're comfortable just rolling your shoulders, you can just roll your shoulders. If you want to add arms, you can add some arms. Just see what your body, neck, shoulders like. And then go the other direction, just loosening up, warming up the shoulders. Okay, and then shake things out. Shake your hands. All of us are on devices too much, so let's just open the wrists a little bit, spread out your hands, press them to the walls, open the chest, and then release. Shake them out again. Interlace your hands behind you, open across your sternum, lift the heart, keep the neck really soft, melt your knees, melt your head, and bring your arms away from the spine wherever they go. Try not to lock the elbows, they can be straight, but unlock them, try not to hyperextend. And then relax and melt your arms down. Feel any wiggles through your spine you need. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down again. Feel the bottom of your feet. So take your feet hip width apart. Stretch open the bottom of your feet. Lift from the arches to the inner groins. Lift from the outer arches up into the outer hips. Let the knees unlock. How's your breath? And then step back to a plank. From here, open up through the center line of the body, get it long. See if you can feel that you're hugging toward the midline without hunkering in your chest. So what does it feel like to keep the chest lifting forward just a little bit? Feel the energy of the back body do some of the work for you. How's your breath here? You can always put your knees down if you need more support. Put your knees on the floor and lower yourself down to the ground. A couple shoulder rolls here again. Just feeling that movement as best as you can. Take a deep breath. Open the chest. Exhale and melt back down again. This time, no hands. So feel the cobra pose come from effort in the back body. Stabilize through the front. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing. And then exhale and melt back down. Come up onto all fours. Have a moment of swishing your spine around. Kind of imagine you're a fish and how a fish spine has to move through the water. Breathe deeply. And then find your way to dog pose. Hands down, feet down. Feel the extension through your spine. Full breaths here. Feel your feet again, root to rise. Reach into the taproot and then drink up from the taproot all the way to the pelvis. Let's bring our right foot forward. Come to a lunge. Blocks are nice if you have them. Chest is broad and open, so feel those collarbones. Feel the heart lift a little bit like a string forward instead of collapsing your sternum toward the body. Breathing well. Okay. Let's go ahead and place the back knee down onto the ground. Uncurl your toes if it's comfortable. If you need to have them curled, keep them curled for your knee. Find your way into a crescent lunge with your knee down. Reach your arms up. See if you can prevent yourself from falling. See if you can root into the earth to rise up through your shoulders, your chest, your arms. Any position with your arms that supports you. And then relax your arms down if they were up. Cross your left arm over to the right knee. Just place your forearm on your knee. The other hand is on your thigh. Reach through the spine as you gently twist a bit to the side. Stay rooted in the big toe. Open through your sternum. All right, and then place the hands down onto the ground. Come onto the inside edge of that right foot. Extend the heart again. You get to decide whether the back knee stays on the floor or whether you want to lift that back knee up off the floor. Find the sit bones widening. Open up the heart again. Breathing deeply. Imagine that feeling that you had in a plank earlier where we weren't letting our chest collapse inward. We're extending, puffing outward a little bit. And then bring that foot back, dog pose. Long spine here. Deep breath, feel the difference between your two legs. And then bring your left foot forward. Come into a lunge, hands on your blocks. Feel the heart grow. Feel the back thigh lift. Feel the extension of your spine. How's your breathing? Can you marvel at your breath? Are you observant enough to feel something really wonderful happening inside your body? Something in your mind. And then let's go ahead and place the back knee down. If you want to curl under, if you want to lay your toes flat, that might change something if you're always a habitual toe curler under. To experiment why. There's no right or wrong. Curl the toe under, lay it flat, but just experiment why. Reach your body up. Maybe your shoulders don't like to be up in the air, so you want to keep your hands on your knee like this. Maybe you want to have your arms out to the side. So find whatever's working to give you an open heart, to give you the sense of stability in your lower body, and to give you the sense of freedom in your shoulders. What gives you that sense of grounding and breath? Can you feel your roots, your tap roots sink? Can you drink up from them? And then if your arms are up, you can lower them down and bring your right arm across. Let your forearm rest on your knee. Other hand presses on your thigh to help you remind the spine to lift and lengthen. Hug into the inner thighs. Feel the inner spiral, the sit bones widen. Stay connected with that left big toe rooting into the earth. How's the breath? All right, let's come out of there. Bring your hands to the inside edge of your foot. Hands, if the ground is too far away, you can always put your hands on blocks. Your back knee can stay on the floor, or you can lift your back knee up off the floor. If you tend to have pain in your knee when you lift it off the floor, you could be trying to lift from your knee instead of your femur bone. So drop the knee and lift from the head of the femur bone instead. And if that doesn't help you, put your knee back down. So you make choices based on what your body's telling you. Open up the sit bones, extend the heart, open up the collarbones. Breathe your way here no matter what you're doing with your legs. And then we're going to bring that front foot back, dog pose again. Extending through the spine, opening up the breath.
And then walking your feet forward, come into Uttanasana. Fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. You can hold your thighs or the blocks or anything you want. Exhale. Melt all the way down. Push off your feet. Rise up. Check in. Make sure your body is feeling good. If your blood pressure dropped, just pause for a moment. Squeeze to the midline. Open your chest. Lean back a little bit if you're able to. Put your arms in a happy place for your shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades down. And then release your arms down. If you're okay with your arms being up in the air, bring them back. If you're not and only have access to one side, that's okay. You can either have two hands on your hips for this or one arm in the air, or if you can, two arms. Reach up, we're gonna grab onto the left wrist with the right hand and extend through the side of your body. You can do this with one hand down. You can do this with two hands down. But feel the extension through the side. Open up the rib cage. Find your breath. Are you yielding and grounding into both feet? Inner spiral of the thighs. And then come back up. Other side. So try not to yank on your arms. So we're not pulling from the shoulder. We're trying to get that fascial stretch from the bottom of the rib cage up, from the bottom of the rib cage down to your foot. So feel that bifurcation in your body and extend in both directions. You can do this with the arms up. You can do this with one arm up. You can do this with no arms up. And then come back to center. Shake out the wrists again. Take your feet a little wider and loosen up your spine by twisting from side to side. So we've done this lots. You can have your arms low like this, where you're kind of flomping onto your body. You can have your hands further out. You can have your arms up. Okay, so experiment with what's going to help you. Let your rib cage and your spine have a lot of mobility. How's your breath? All right, and then come back to center. Take a deep breath in, arms up to the sky. Exhale and fold forward and relax your skull. Halfway lift, the spine grows. Exhale and melt back down. Take your right foot forward, your left foot back. Find a lunge, this time all the way up to a crescent lunge, reaching the arms wherever's comfortable, moving the legs into whatever position, whatever depth is comfortable. Extend through the back leg. If you can, open up those hip flexors. Feel your front heel move into the earth to feel your glutes start to work. Glutes on both sides working. Find your breath, and then when you're ready, turn and open up to the side, Virabhadrasana 2. Find our way into some rotation in our hip joint. Let's move a moment. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, find your way in. Coming into the chest with your hands. Exhale, hanging out here now. Drop the shoulders. What can you do to relax? Is there a place for you to feel open across your chest without burdening your traps, your shoulders? Maybe you need to have your hands in a different position. How are your legs? Do you need to come out of your depth? Do you need to go into your depth? Just find what's working for your breath, for your stability. Waking up some work in the legs. So press your heels into the floor. Feel your glutes work. Okay, and then a nice side body stretch here. Open up through the ribs. So it's easy to turn this into a back bend feeling. Try to keep it in the side of your body. Try not to pull yourself out of your lunge. Keep yourself in your lunge. And then when you're ready, straighten your leg just for a moment. Let's try not to overburden one side since we're doing so many poses on one side in a row. And then when you're ready, come back and stretch now the other side. So have this be a focus on moving the rib cage. So now we're opening up through the left side of the body a lot. Hand can be anywhere. Whatever's working for you. Notice if you push your pelvis forward on that side. Draw the pelvis back. Open up through both sides of your rib cage. Try not to collapse one side of the rib and open the other. Open both sides of your ribs simultaneously. All right, and then go ahead and come back up. Find dog pose again. Even though we've done those poses on one side and not the other, can you return to a symmetrical pose? And you may not feel symmetrical. When you come into this, you might feel, oh, my right leg is a little burdened more than my left. So stay until there's a little bit of ease that comes, a little bit of sense that there's balance. And then when you're ready, come forward into a plank. You can always put your knees down onto the floor if your body needs support for whatever reason. It could be shoulders. It could be that your breath is taking, you just have a little too much of breath taking away. So, yoga can be aerobic, but it's not our focus in our yoga practice to breathe really fast and hard. We want to have a steadiness, and that doesn't mean you're not working hard. Your heart rate's not going up a little bit, but it's not like going for a run or a bike ride where our focus is our breath, kind of moving quickly. Let's go ahead and lower ourselves down to the ground. Instead, our focus on our breath is to find as much fullness in our breath as we can. Find a different pose now. So as we lie on our belly, we're going to reach our arms back behind us. Find your breath. Palms are going to face the floor. Feel your triceps start to kick in. Lift your arms first off the ground. Feel that your triceps are working and the back side of your rotator cuffs. Feel that even move into the bottom of your lower traps. See if you can feel those connections from your triceps to your lower traps. Once you have that, go ahead and lift everything up. The neck, the upper traps are soft. Nothing has to grip there to find this pose. Find your breath. Exhale and melt back down. Put your hands underneath your forehead for a moment. Let's lift your right leg up in the air. Just feel your glutes kick in, stabilize through your core. Find your breath. Hold that steady for a moment. And then release that leg down. Other side. Lifting just your leg, head can stay, or just hover, whatever feels good, but we're keeping our upper body down. Notice if you have stronger glutes on one side than the other. Do you have a stronger outer or an inner glute? Like, do you tend to want to turn your foot out? Do you tend to want to keep your foot straight? Where is your dominance? And then release and let that go. Come on to all fours. Have a moment to observe the breath. Once again, we're not huffing and puffing. Of course, the breath can speed up, the heart rate can speed up, but our focus is on steadiness, on observation, on presence more than I got to get my exercise on. Okay, so that's the side effect of our yoga practice, is the boon for our health. The focus is on being deeply present for our experience. And that means into our breath. Find your way up into dog pose when you're ready. Connect with all your limbs. Isn't it a joy when you feel your body? This is the joy of moving a little slower in a yoga practice, versus moving fast, which also feels joyful and good. But sometimes when we slow ourselves down, we can be present, observant for what is so working well. So let's have a moment of gratitude here. Feel into something in your body that's working for you. There's so much working for you because here you are doing yoga. So there's a lot working. Let's bring the left foot forward. Come into a lunge. If you like to use blocks to get yourself there, then go ahead. Have the blocks underneath you. Establish your legs. Root into your feet. And when you're ready, we're going to rise up. Crescent lunge on this side. Reaching the arms up or out, anywhere. Be very mindful of not overusing your upper traps. They're such eager muscles. They just want to do everything. So let them go. See what it feels like to drop away from the head. Let there be some space in your neck. Breathe into the length of your spine, the support of the floor. Press your heels. right, and then we're going to turn and open up to the side. Virabhadrasana 2 on this side. Let's start with a little bit of movement. So take a deep breath in, arms coming up, straighten your leg, exhale, and come into Vira 2. Bring your arms in, and as you exhale, come in to Vira 2. So just find your way. Notice if this hip is pushed way forward, draw it back. Be anywhere in that lunge that feels really nice for your joints. So if deep bothers your knee, like it does mine a little bit, back away until you find that you have just the right spot for your body. Support yourself through both your legs. Relax the traps. See how broad and open you can become through your heart space. Even though we're not doing a side bend yet, can you feel both sides of your rib cage open and expand? And then when you are ready, reach into that one side. So we're lifting our left arm up in the air and opening up through the ribs. Full breaths. Try not to pull all the way out of your lunge. Try not to compress into your right side joint, into the right low back. Keep moving that thigh bone back. And then straighten your thigh for a moment. Enjoy the feeling of your blood flow shifting in your leg. And then when you're ready to, go ahead and bend the knee again. Place your elbow on your knee. Put your arm in a place that's really good for your body's health. All right, so breathing. A common thing that happens when we lift our arm over our head is we overstretch one side and we collapse the other side. So lengthen both sides of your rib cage, shoulder blades down. Root into the feet, make sure you can feel the toes and the heels. How's that steady, observant breath? All right, we're going to come out of there, swing back to dog pose, and once again, feel that renewal of symmetry, that renewal of coming into a state where the left leg that's worked maybe a little harder than your right can find its way back into balance. The spine grows, relax your head. And then we're going to walk our feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold a little bit. Find your breath. Rise on up. Breathing deeply. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the roots. Bring your hands onto your back like camel pose. We're not doing camel pose, but imagine that you were. So having your hands kind of facing, pointing down on your sacrum for the moment. Okay? And then open up across your chest. So this is different for your shoulders. When your elbows are back, and you have a tendency to internally rotate the shoulders. So see what you can do to find that line of the triceps to the back of the rotator cuff to the rhomboids. Open things up there, and then release the hands from the backside and face the palms forward and pull your arms back. So instead of having the action just be about squeezing your upper traps and squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades and popping the ribs forward, integrate from the triceps to the rotator cuffs to the lower traps. Find that this can help you activate differently than if you're just pushing your chest forward and squeezing your shoulder blades. Inner thighs rolling back, integrate your core, and then release your arms. Shake things out, lifting the arms to the sky. And then we're going to come down and we're going to hold on to something if you need it. Grab onto your left foot with your right hand. Let your quads stretch. We just did a lot of work in your quads with those standing poses, so let it open a little bit. Finding the breath, lift open through your heart. If you can't reach your foot, use a strap so that you are not just, I don't want you doing this, just hanging out with your leg in the air. That's just asking for a hamstring cramp. If you have the balance, start to take yourself forward into dancer pose. If you need support, You can come forward and have your hand on a support. The knee you're standing on is loose, soft, mobile, root into the earth. Drink into your taproot and lift it up into your body. Observe what's happening here. Can you square things up with your shoulders and hips? Are you able to stay in an open heart? Let go of the need for balance. You know, sometimes I do this pose like I'm doing right now with my fingers, not because I need it for balance, because it gives me a restful state to observe in. All right, and then come back and place 2 feet on the ground. Shake things, bounce, whatever you need to do to let things go. And then we're moving into the other side, dropping weight into the left. Grab onto your right foot. If you can't, use a strap around your ankle. Try not to lean out to the side or do some weird funky thing with your hip. The hip is stable, the knee is soft. We're finding the roots before we move. When you're ready, if your arm wants to come up or out, or maybe your palm is back and you're finding that tricep rotator cuff low trap vibe again, extend the heart. Kick your foot, go where you go without puffing your rib cage out, without squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades. Integrate more than that, so that when you find a little bit of back bend, it's coming from a really supported, stable place instead of just puffing and pinching. How's your breath? Breathing well. Go where your body goes, not where your body doesn't go. Relax your upper traps. See if you can let that soften into the base of your skull. Okay. And then go ahead and unwind. And notice the outer hips, you know, they have to work hard for those balance poses. Let's be appreciative and thankful for our outer hips. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up to the sky and fold forward again. Relax. Let your back soften. If back bends, you know, ever get irritating, let things relax here. Halfway lift to open the heart. Release the hands down back onto the floor if they got onto your thighs, and step your left foot back. Plant your heel down. Virabhadrasana 1, stay low. Arms are back, palms are facing the floor. Once again, triceps, back of the rotator cuffs, sweep across the edges of your shoulder blades and root that into the spine, but lower than in between your shoulder blades. Root it where your lower traps integrate. Find your breath, lift up from here, open through your body, decide where you want your body to be. So the back heel is down. Do you want to keep your arms here? Would you rather lift your arms up? Would you rather stay forward a little bit? So find the position that's best for you, whichever you're doing. Root both your heels into the ground to get those glutes active and working. Breathing well. And then release the hands down. Back foot comes forward, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Step your other foot back. Vira 1, legs. So the back heel is down onto the ground. Come off the floor with your hands and bring your palms back. Palms are down, hands are back. Feel the heads of the arm bones lift. So sometimes we can activate that from our triceps. Sometimes you need to feel the front of the arm bones move back. So find that. Feel the backside of your shoulder blades. Root into the lower traps. Extend the spine. Find your way slowly up. Breathe here. Decide where you want to put your arms, where you want to put your torso. If you tend to overarch your lumbar spine, lean forward a little bit. Whatever you're doing, ground into your heels well. Decide where you want your arms to be. Make sure your upper traps are soft and relaxed, no matter what you're choosing to do. Can you open up the breath? Can you open up the sides of the bodies, no matter where your arms ended up? And then release. Hands back down. Come onto all fours. Just have a moment to stretch back towards child's pose. Relax your forehead toward the earth. Melt the moment. Deep breaths here. Now we're going to find our way down onto our belly. Okay. Palms are down at our side. Palms are facing the earth. Unlock the elbows. If they tend to hyperextend, lift the elbows on a little puppet string up toward the sky. Lift the heads of the arm bones on a puppet string up toward the sky. Engage your core. Engage your legs. Start to lift everything up. Notice what you over rely on. The minute you come up into a back bend like this, what kicks in first? Are you a glutes kind of mover? Do your back muscles clench right away? Can you integrate the triceps, the backside of the rotator cuffs, the lower the lower traps? Integrate that into your lats, your core, your glutes. Let everything work for you. Enjoy the movement of your diaphragm. All right, and then relax and melt. Put your forehead on your hands, pick up your feet, and rock left and right. Breathing here. All right, and then come up onto all fours. Swirl from side to side. You can even pick up your feet and move them from side to side. Just let the side movements help your spine. All right, let's go ahead and relax for a moment. Come onto your back and grab your strap. Okay, we're gonna bring our knees, one knee, right knee, into your chest. Left leg can be long on the floor or knee bent, you decide. Find your breath. And then wrap that strap around your foot and lift your leg in the air. Open things up, move your hip away from your shoulder. Deep breath, stretch up through your foot and down into your hip. Relax the shoulders. Those upper traps, just put them on vacation. The base of the skull is so soft. Root the head of the femur bone back in the hip joint. Settle it down into the earth. Okay, regardless of whether your left leg is bent or straight, we're going to cross the right leg over to the left. You can hold the strap in both hands or just your left hand. You can have your right hand at the top of the thigh, whatever works for you. Just begin to stretch the IT band a little bit, the outer hip. All right, now from here, we're going to bend the left knee, put it behind the right thigh, lay down the right thigh, and bend the right knee. Okay, so we're crossing knee over knee, thigh over thigh. Bring the knees toward the chest. Relax the upper traps again. Soften them into the earth. Breathe here. You can travel your hands down your shins. You can even hold on to your feet if that is available for your hips. So whatever, more is not necessarily better. Be where your body's edges lie. So if you fight your edges, you don't want to shy away from your edges. But if you fight your edges and you can't breathe and you start kind of contorting your body to access something that's not available, this no longer serves. So go where you're served. And then unwind the legs, 2 legs straight up in the air, and we're going to open our legs. You can hold the legs with your hands, but open like a V, like the letter V. And then bend your knees. Put your right foot on the floor or your right leg on the floor. You decide. Wrap the strap around your left foot and lift it up in the air. Reaching through your foot, reaching down through your hip. One of the beauties of this pose is the ease of settling back into the hip joint. It's very nurturing for your back. So see if you can feel the impact. If you didn't root your hips, so lift your hip, let it hike up toward your shoulder, hike up toward the air, and notice what's happening in your back. And then move your thigh bone away from your shoulder and root the femur bone down into the earth. And just see the difference for your spine. What happens in your body when you do that? Observing the steady breath. When you're ready, let's cross the left leg over to the right. Breathing here. Doesn't matter if your right foot is on the floor or your right leg is on the floor. Whatever you're doing, you're letting the left leg cross past the midline to the right. Strap can be held with one hand, two hands. Stretch through the big toe and the inner heel. Keep moving the thigh bone away from shoulder. Keep breathing. Keep relaxing the upper traps. Okay, and then let's cross that. We're going to bring the right knee underneath so that we end up crossing thigh over thigh, knee over knee, or wherever your body lands. And grab onto your knees, bring them toward the chest, grab onto your calves, your shins, your feet, your ankles, wherever your body takes you to do this pose. Stretch into the hips. Keep relaxing the upper traps. Keep breathing. And then unwind. Last thing for the strap, 2 feet up in the air, both legs straight. Try not to hyperextend and lock out the knees. Okay, now grab your blankets or your blocks. We're still here on our back, but you're gonna come right into Supta Baddha Konasana for a moment, supporting underneath your outer legs. So you can grab your 2 blocks to put underneath there or more props if you want. Take your arms out far away from your torso. Let your body breathe into that space. If you're not fully supported, make a change. Melt your spine into the floor. Make sure your legs are deeply supported. So this is not about a deep stretch. This is about a deep rest. Take advantage and observe your breath. Observe what it feels like to let your body rest on the floor. We won't be here a super long time, so relish it. Take advantage, notice, observe this moment. Lift our knees up. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock a little bit. A simple twist. Bring your feet down. And then lift your hips up. Scooch them right. Knees up. Drop them left. Let the breath take you where you need to go. Melt the shoulders. Observe here what's beautiful and helpful in this posture. All right, let's lift the knees. Scoot your hips over to the other side. Lift the knees up, drop them. Feel the fullness of this pose. Let your body settle into it. Breathe into what you love about it. Knees back up. Either knees to your chest and rock or happy baby pose. Maybe you even want to pick up your head, so just find whatever's working to round the spine, release the muscles. Maybe even want to, move into a plow pose or bring your knees to your forehead or any kind of forward folding, rounding-ish kind of pose that is best for your body. Could just be rocking. We're releasing the spine now. Don't go so far that you're going to need to counter pose from it, just enough to release. And then as you're ready, we're coming into Shavasana. So your legs can be straight. If you need support underneath your knees or head, take that. So whatever is working for your body. And Shavasana is the greatest place to develop these observational skills of presence, knowing the deep gratitude of just the simplest of things, of resting. So as you find yourself coming onto the ground, if there's any little things you need to do, if there's any support you need to create, do that for yourself. Come into observing your body and breath. Melt what you can. Feel that sense of ease. Your neck and shoulders, those upper traps are just resting. Your limbs are resting. Can you relish in the rest? Can you just observe and have deep gratitude for what you're feeling right now?
Let's begin to deepen the breath again and again. Can you feel your exhales melt you into the floor? Feel one thing that is something you're very grateful for in your mind, in your body. All right, let's find our way into movement. Eventually finding your way onto your side. Lifting yourself up. And as you're ready, bring your hands to your heart and settle into a comfortable posture for a moment. Feel your taproots drop into the earth, your renewable resources always available. Breathe them in. Offer your practice to another. Send your gratitude, your energy to someone who needs it. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. So good to have you here.